And we're back with episode 388 of
The Horror Guys.
Yay!
I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
And we're going to talk about 5 movies that we saw and a nifty series.
A TV series. Cool.
Fallout Season 2 is out there available for everybody.
All right, that's different.
We watched it and we liked it.
But first, you know, a mummy, a vampire, a zombie, and a cyber entity walk into a bar.
That sounds like a joke.
It does. Actually, no, it's right here in our movies this week.
We are serious. We are not joking.
We're going to start out with the new Mummy movie from Lee Cronin. Take a listen to The Undertone, which are both recent releases that just came out recently. That's what recent releases do, yes? Come out recently?
Very recent.
Last year's This Is Not a Test will shamble on stage next.
Zombies.
And then, what are we going to suffer through?
The Lawnmower Man Part 2. Job's War.
Or
Which
something.
might be the title.
Might be title.
They couldn't quite decide on the title, but we'll talk more about that.
Oh, yes, we will.
And finally, an old Christopher Lee Dracula movie from 1968. Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Because he does that. He doesn't stay dead.
We haven't done any good Dracula movies in quite a while.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah. And as always, the show is brought to you by HorrorMonthly.com, where you can pick up all the reviews in magazine form, or you can pick up the many excellent Horror Guys guidebooks, which are always fun. That's at HorrorGuys.com,
Yeah,
HorrorWeekly.com,
yeah,
HorrorMonthly.com.
We've got all the
horror. Well, where are we going to start? Are you my mummy?
No, I'm not your mommy.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Directed and written by Lee Cronin. Stars Jack Rayner, Leia Costa, May Calamaui, Natalie Grace, and Veronica Falcon. Hour and 33 minutes, which is going to be our long one for the week.
Mm-hmm. It's long, but worth it.
Huh. Some things are meant to stay buried.
Uh-huh. Cool poster.
A girl disappears in Egypt. 8 years later, she turns up and is returned to her family. But she's not all right. And it's a nightmare for everyone that just gets worse and worse as the movie progresses. The effects are nasty and effective. The story and pacing are good, and it never lets up. We both thought it was great.
Yeah, long but worth it.
Yes, my pick of the week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, what happens?
Well, an Egyptian family is on vacation, and Mom is grumpy. The pet bird, when they get there, has somehow fallen over into a puddle of blood. They're back home. Or are they? No, this isn't their home. No. But anyway, the adults know what's going on, and they head to the pyramid that is buried in the basement.
That ain't normal.
That's not normal. How do we know it's time? Asks the husband. We check, says the wife. They open a huge stone sarcophagus using a complicated winch setup and take a peek inside. And he asks, is he awake?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yep, turns out he is awake. And credits roll.
That's a weird family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Charlie Cannon is in Cairo teaching his kids Morse code.
I doubt that's the reason they're there, but he's doing that as well.
Yeah. He's a reporter in Egypt. His wife, Larissa, is pregnant with another kid, and the first two like to fight a lot. The little girl, Katie, meets Layla's mother, the magician, and she looks very familiar.
Oh, yeah, she got a pyramid in her basement.
It's that lady from the opening scene. Well, she's got candy and magic tricks, and she's talking to Katie through the fence, and she gives Katie candy and an apple. And unfortunately, she also feeds her a magic bug.
Oops.
Yeah. When Charlie goes to look for her, she has vanished. And the kid is missing in Egypt.
Yep.
Yeah, so you go to the police. Well, Detective Zaki is newly assigned to missing persons at the police department, and she's assigned to Katie's case. The chief detective thinks Charlie killed his own daughter.
This case is not going to go anywhere.
He's just really dismissive of the whole thing, and doesn't turn up anything. Well, 8 years later, Charlie and his family live in New Mexico, and they never found Katie. Older Sebastian wants to go to a school trip in Europe, and his mother won't allow it. Maud, she was the baby that was unborn, is about 8 years old now. But back in Egypt, an airplane falls from the sky, and inside the plane was that stone sarcophagus that we saw before. Experts try to imagine what's inside, and they try to x-ray it and image it, but they can't see into it. So they have to open it up. And there is a mummy inside. Mummy inside is in surprisingly good shape.
Looks like it may have been buried about 8 years ago.
And it sits up screaming. It's Katie.
Oh, my.
And things go
badly from there.
Yeah, they contact the family and say, hey, we found your daughter. And,
but is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is it really? Yeah.
Well, the scariest part of this movie is probably the toenail clipping scene.
Oh, that's so cringeworthy. Yeah, so
you get the quiet place
wince.
where she steps on the nail. This one here's the toenail clipping.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of body horror and gore here, though, and it's all very well done. And all the creature effects here are really excellent as well. We get a lot of this creature, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of those keep him in the dark kind of things. The family here needed to institutionalize Katie after about the first hour. There's something clearly not right with Katie.
Yeah.
But even after her weirdness became evident to everyone, they still don't do anything.
Not soon enough, no.
The acting, sets, and everything is really good here, especially the pacing, which never slows down or gets boring for a minute. Now, we have seen over 2,000 horror movies. In my opinion, the biggest sin a horror movie can make is getting boring in the middle.
Uh-huh.
If I'm going to sleep halfway through, it's not a good movie.
That didn't happen in this one.
It didn't happen here.
Yeah, pacing's good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I'm going to call it the best of the modern mummy movies for sure.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, I liked it even better than those.
Oh, now you're going to get some emails on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Email at horrorguys.com.
Fight me, yeah.
Okay.
And one of the characters dies.
But it's not related to those movies. Those are more action comedy kind of things. This is strictly horror.
This is horror, yeah. One of the characters, there is a death and a funeral, and that's just the best wake.
I love that funeral.
Oh, that wake scene. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. But one thing we don't want to talk about is the Undertone. Shh. Written and directed by Ian Tuason, stars Nina Curie, and that's pretty much it, really. There's nobody else that we see on screen.
The mother.
The mother.
Yeah, there's
only speak.
Yeah, there's only 2 actors that we see.
Yeah, and the third one that we get a lot of talk from.
The rest are all voices. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 hour, 34 minutes. Or they could just call it Podcast the Movie.
Yeah, they could.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, spoiler-free, a skeptical paranormal podcast producer starts to believe a bit as strange audio gets a little bit too real. We thought it was interesting how it's made. Like we mentioned, it's only 2 actors who are seen. Mostly Nina Curie is the main character, and everybody else phones it in. Yeah.
Literally phones it in.
And it all takes place inside one house, which makes it quiet and slow-moving, all about the audio. And it does gradually build and gets creepier as it goes along. We both thought it was very entertaining.
Yeah. And the poster says it's the scariest movie you'll ever hear. Because there's really not that much to see here.
There's a lot of... It depends on the audio. A lot, yeah.
Well, we open on an old woman in bed as Evie sings to her. The old woman is clearly dying, and the credits roll. Evie puts on her headphones and calls Justin on her computer. She tells him about her sick mother. She just wants it to be over. Then they talk about The Undertone, a podcast they both have created about freaky things. He's the believer and she's the skeptic. This time they talked about a cursed video that made 91 people kill themselves, but she knows it's all been debunked. On another topic, Justin shares a weird email that's full of random letters and audio clips. Justin plays the first clip, and it's just a couple of people talking. Mike, one of the voices on the tape, wants to record Jessa because he says she talks in her sleep. And at one point, Jessa starts singing in her sleep. In the second audio clip, there's a sound that sounds like, Mike, kill all. Well, Evie tells Justin she wants to stop recording for the night, and they sign off. She then goes upstairs to check on her mother and goes to bed. In the morning, Evie calls the doctor about a pregnancy test and talks to Mama's nurse. Evie's invited to a party, but when the time comes, she has to clean up her mother, and she tells her mother she'll be back in a few hours. She doesn't get home until morning and then finds her mother on the bedroom floor. Evie and Justin resume their talk about the weird sound clips. The fourth clip is about a weird doll that Jessa and Mike have, and then there's some kind of loud banging. The two put off the recording for a couple of days so Evie can get some sleep. Instead, she looks at that audio clip in more detail and plays some of it backwards. It says, "Come to Abizu," over and over, which puts Evie into a trance. Turns out Abizu has a long history of bad things.
Taker of children.
You.
Yeah. And bad things happen.
They do.
And Evie might be pregnant.
Yeah. Well, it's all done in one house with one actress and a bunch of voice actors, so obviously it was pretty low budget. Still, what we see does look good. It's very well filmed. Has to be, even there's not much to see. They do a lot of the cinematography tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But not much really happens on screen. It's all about those audio files and the sounds that we hear. The Jessa and Mike story. I was entertained throughout, but it was definitely a slow burn. I have some people say they were very disappointed and bored with this one.
I wasn't bored with it.
I was not either.
For such a quiet, low-action movie, I thought it was fascinating to watch and listen to.
You know the camera guy knows what he's doing when there's a movie where nothing happens on screen and it's still entertaining for an hour and a half.
And it's still fascinating to watch. Yeah, I was impressed with that one.
Okay, one I think we were both a little less impressed with. This Is Not a Test from 2025. Written and directed by Adam McDonald, stars Olivia Holt, Freud Gutierrez, Luke McFarlane, Courtney Moore, Chloe Avakian, and Carson McCormick. Hour and 43 minutes. Trailer in the show notes.
You know, something I just noticed, too, is 4 out of 5 of these movies, the modern ones, they're all written and directed by the same person.
Okay.
Writer-director. Does both duties. I just thought that was interesting.
And some of them are good, some of them aren't.
That we managed to go 4 out of 5 where that happens.
Spoiler-free, 5 students in their 20s shelter in their high school after a zombie outbreak. It starts out fast, and there are some frantic moments, but the pacing is uneven, and it often drags. What did I say 5 minutes ago?
And this one is a sin.
We both agreed there wasn't anything new here, which reduced its entertainment value for us.
It's draggy here and there.
How does this one start off?
Well, we open on Sloane in the bathtub with a suicide note in hand, but then she changes her mind. Sloane's sister left them, and she's not happy about it, especially since Dad's an abusive jerk. Suddenly, there's abrupt chaos, and her dad says they need to leave. Yes, it's a very sudden zombie apocalypse.
That came out of nowhere.
Dad gets bitten in a violent and quick battle, and then Sloane runs outside, and credits roll. And the next day, we cut to a group of teenagers hiding inside the high school. They have to beat the principal to death with a phone because he's a zombie, but that's okay. We flash back to Sloane's run yesterday, when she was running away from the house initially. She runs into... Is that Reese?
Yes.
Yes, Reese and Carrie, and goes with them. They join Grace, Trace, and their mother to hide in a house. And they decide running to the school would be a good idea, but they are attacked on the way. And we get additional flashbacks concerning Sloane's sister, who left the abusive father and sister alone together. Of the 5 survivors left at the school, there are already conflicts and alliances.
Okay, and that's all about 10 minutes into the movie. It's really just getting a good start. And I noticed my summary here only has 4 more paragraphs. Not much else happens.
Yeah, a lot.
There's battling and arguing at the school.
Yeah, and zombie stuff, which we've kind of seen before.
Yeah, it's a very lack of...
It starts fast. It starts fast, and there are some fast moments, but it's really inconsistent. And there, like you say, there's too much teen drama. And I say teen in quotes because they're all in their 20s. You know.
That's the thing that gets Kevin crazy, is
sometimes
those old teenagers.
Sometimes when it's real obvious like this one. Yeah.
It's teenagers and drama in a high school during a zombie outbreak. And that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of people yelling over each other in many scenes to make it seem more tense. If they'd have calmly talked over their problems, we'd have all gone to sleep a lot earlier.
Yeah.
It's well made and it looks good, but there's nothing here that we have not seen many times before.
I was actually kind of bored for a lot of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Zombies, 28 years later, zombies can be pretty cool.
They can be, yeah.
But zombies, it's the same old story here.
It does tend to be, yeah.
A whole different kind of story is 1995's Lawnmower Man 2, Beyond Cyberspace, otherwise known as 1995's Lawnmower Man 2, Job's War. And some other things, too, from what I hear.
They couldn't quite make up their mind on the title.
It sucked. Doesn't matter what you call it. Written and directed by Farhad Mann. Stars Patrick Bergin, Matt Frewer, Austin O'Brien, and Eli Pouget. 92 minutes, hour and 32 minutes. Trailer in the show notes. Yes.
So spoiler-free, this takes place immediately following the first movie and about 6 years later. Despite Job putting himself in the machine and leaving his body in the first movie...
Which we saw about 2 weeks ago, if you want to go back and read the synopsis on that one.
Here he's still alive, and he's badly hurt in the explosion, and so they have to reconstruct his damaged face. So that's why it's not Jeff Fahey, it's Matt Frewer. And he also lost his legs in the explosion.
He looks mighty clean and good, though, to be a completely burned up mess. They had to reconstruct his face.
It's been 6 years. He had a long time to heal, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a sort of standalone more than a sequel. And the opening credits, like we mentioned, that the opening credits say Lawnmower Man 2: Job's War. They couldn't make their mind up on the title, but it's lame and tame and pretty bland, and neither of us much cared for it.
I don't know that bland is the word I would use.
Okay.
It is not bland. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's all kind of terrible, though.
Yeah, it is.
We open with some scenes from the ending of the previous film, where Cyber Job gets out of the machine into the system before the building explodes. Actually, he goes into the machine.
Yeah.
Dr. Benjamin Trace then defends his Chiron chip in court as the credits roll. A body is retrieved from the burning facility. Turns out to be Job. Of course, we know in the first movie his body melted, but we forget that part. We've forgotten that part.
He completely moved himself into the machine.
Yeah. Dr. Corey Platt communicates with the man through a computer terminal, but then all of a sudden he can just speak. So that computer thing was completely unnecessary.
But he got better, yeah.
Very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He was burned and reconstructed, so he doesn't look like Jeff Fahey now. He looks more like Max Headroom. Jonathan Walker, the CEO of the company, wants Job to build the Chiron chip for him. They put Job into the VR machine, and things get weird quickly. In Los Angeles, in the future, it now looks like Blade Runner, but with less steam and more VR helmets. There's plenty of steam, too.
Yeah, there is.
And open flames and smoke.
Neon and
rain.
Yeah. It's very Blade Runner-ish.
Peter, Jade, Sean, and Travis steal access codes. Their group is like the Lost Boys meets hackers. They all go to the VR world, but it's a war zone now. But with a little help from Harvey, the way too intelligent dog, they find Job, who has missed Peter. And Peter is the only character returning from the previous film.
Mm-hmm. Same actor.
Job says the cyberscape is dying, and he needs Peter to find Dr. Trace. Walker, meanwhile, talks to the senator about his nefarious plans. All right, so anyway, Peter goes to Dr. Trace's house, gets him involved, and the rest of it turns out to be a battle to help Job. Or maybe not help Job.
Except Job turns out to be a bad guy.
Yeah, which is not really a big surprise.
A megalomaniac.
Well, Peter is like 5 years older than the previous film, but the world has gone full cyberpunk Blade Runner in that time. Yeah, the first Lawnmower movie, I mean, they live in a nice suburban neighborhood and everything looks normal.
Yeah, it does.
The computers are maybe a little high-tech than what we have, but it's normal land. Job, whose body melted in the previous film, is back in a corporeal body again, which isn't really explained. This feels like a sci-fi movie targeted toward children, and it's just as logical as that sounds. Yeah, I wonder who they really targeted this towards.
Well, I saw
the kids play an awfully big part.
I saw some in the trivia that there was a conflict in the editing stage where the producers kind of took it away from the director, and they did gear it toward a young audience, or tried to.
Okay. Well, most of the plot makes no real sense, and of course they've stolen a whole lot of plot elements from the various Star Wars movies, Tron. What else? A lot of things from other
Max
movies.
Headroom.
Max Headroom, of course.
Yeah.
Well, why were the guards suddenly following Job's orders there at the end?
Yeah, he wasn't.
He didn't
the
have
boss.
mind control or anything.
No, just because he was in charge now. He said, "I'm in charge now,"
and everybody just.
And then all
him.
the guards just say, "Okay, yeah."
Well, there's surprisingly little VR in this film, but the sci-fi that is here is all very cliched and gimmicky. They've got a super computer chip that looks like a little pyramid that people swap around and steal and lose, and Aha, it's real. No, it's not. It's a magic pyramid chip.
It's the MacGuffin of the movie.
It's plain awful. Trace and the others find Job, who's regressing to his old lawnmower self. What? Oh, I'm just reading the wrong part. That shouldn't even be there.
No, that should be up in your description.
Okay, that needs to move. Meanwhile, everyone's smiling. Okay, and at the end, they all leave after defeating the bad guys, and the whole world ought to be falling apart after the chaos Job caused.
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's all better. When, in this one, we paused for a break, and we saw there was a half an hour to go, and we both literally groaned.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's not a good sign for a movie when that happens. I mean, it's not the worst movie I've seen, but yeah,
It's competently made. It's just a horrible, horrible story.
Really weren't entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, thumbs down.
Can't really even complain about the special effects. They're not that bad.
They're not awful.
It's just the story is so cliched awful.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, another one that might be a little cliched involves Dracula. But then again, this is Christopher Lee, so it's not cliched. It's classic.
That's right.
1968's Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. And I saw headlines just recently that one of these old Dracula Christopher Lee movies is getting a re-release with extra blood.
Ooh.
They've added some cutscenes or something.
Okay.
I don't know if it's this one. And if it is, that's not the one we saw. But this was the original from 68, directed by Freddie Francis, written by Anthony Hinds, stars Christopher Lee, Rupert Davies, and Veronica Carlson. Runtime, hour 32 minutes. And if you're a fan of Christopher Lee and Dracula, there's a couple of books you might want to know about.
Really?
We've got the entire Hammer Horror collection, The Horror Guy's Guide to the Films of Hammer Horror. Has all the Dracula films and a whole bunch of others in there. Everything Hammer Horror put out. Also, there's The Horror Guy's Guide to the Films of Christopher Lee.
He did other stuff besides Dracula.
It's got all the Draculas and all the other stuff he did too. Just go over to horrorweekly.com and click on Horror Guy's Guides up at the top. Both of those are there, along with a whole bunch of others. If you like our synopses and movies, you'll love the books.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happens?
So anyway, just a couple of comments that we both thought this one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, and in this one, he gets lines. He hasn't in the Dracula movies of that era.
Oh, there was one of them where he wasn't even paid by the word. He just had to grunt.
One of them, all he does is growl.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this one, he's actually got lines, and he's got a plan for revenge. And yeah.
He's always got a plan for revenge. If he'd dropped the revenge, he'd probably do just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, a boy rides his bicycle to the church. He's the janitor. He goes to ring the church bell and notices that the rope is covered in blood. The priest comes in and climbs the long winding stairs to the bell tower to find a dead girl hanging inside the bell. Uh-oh, she's got bite marks on her neck. When shall we be free of this evil? The priest cries.
Dracula is not keeping a low profile.
No, he doesn't in this one. Time passes, and we see that winter has come and gone. A year has passed since Dracula has been destroyed in the previous film, which was Dracula, Prince of Darkness. He didn't stay destroyed.
Shocker.
The Monsignor comes to town, and he says he wants to clean the castle of its evil influence. The local priest is terrified to even talk about it and refuses to walk all the way up to the mountain where the castle is.
Guess which one's right.
Yeah, and it's dark by the time the Monsignor gets there and begins his blessing. They both do end up going. He doesn't want to, but yeah. Well, the terrified priest runs away and falls down the mountain, injuring himself and cracking open the ice that has trapped Dracula. The priest looks and finds that Dracula has risen from the grave.
At the end of the previous movie, Dracula got trapped under the ice, and the ice froze over him. And supposedly, running water would kill vampires, but apparently he's just frozen solid.
Yep, in stasis.
Yeah.
Should we tell him more?
No, a little more.
Okay. Well, the Monsignor returns to the town, and he says everything's fine now. Castle has been exorcised. He came here and he did his job. Not knowing what happened with the priest down below, we soon see that Dracula has enslaved the priest. Dracula and the priest hop on a carriage and hurry to the nearest town, which just happens to be where the Monsignor lives. Dracula has dinner on the way there, picking on Maria's waitress friend Xena for the first course.
Okay, we got to get this place built up here because Dracula's back. We got to start up. We got to get the castle running again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, several interior shot sets from the previous Hammer films are noticeable here, from the previous film as well as Frankenstein Created Woman. We liked that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It looks good and has a good story. Dracula does get lines this time. Not only that, but he, as you said, he has a plan. Character Paul freely admits that he's an atheist. I'm no expert on the customs of the time period, but I suspect that's not something anybody would have admitted to a Monsignor in the 1800s.
He's kind of high-ranking to be telling that, too. Yeah.
Atheism is a common enough status today, but it would have been likely to cause all sorts of trouble for him in town in those days. Still, it's an important point later when Paul actually drives a stake through Dracula's heart, and it doesn't work.
What?
The necessity of prayer to kill a vampire is unique to this film as far as I'm aware. Doesn't work if you don't pray about it first.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the plot has to do with Dracula needing to hide out because he can't get back into the castle after the Monsignor puts a cross on the door. Near the end of the film, he gets Maria to pull down the cross for him and throw it away. And that worked. Why didn't he do that in the beginning of the film?
Yeah, that would have been so much easier.
But, okay. There was plot reasons for him not to get into the castle. And then to wrap things up, we've got Fallout Season 2 from 2026.
And we've got bad news about that. You have to totally have played all the video games to watch this, don't you?
No.
No, you don't.
I've never played any of them.
Yeah, neither of us have played the games, and we thoroughly enjoyed this.
Actually, I have most of the games. I just never played them.
Okay.
This is what happens when you do Humble Bundle. You wind up with a library of 1,000 games that you never play.
I would say I don't have the games, but technically I do. I could play them off your account anytime I wanted to.
Anyway, it is an 8-episode series, written and directed by various people, depending on which one you watch. But it stars Ella Purnell, Aaron Moten, Walton Goggins, Kyle MacLachlan, and a bunch of other people. There are a lot of familiar faces here.
A whole bunch of other people.
And they're around 55 minutes per episode, 8 episodes, so it's a fairly long one. And there's a trailer in the usual place.
Uh-huh.
So spoiler-free. Well, we're not going to spoil the individual episodes. What have we got here?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and read this nice summary we
should.
Put together. Well, let us state up front that Season 2 is every bit as entertaining as Season 1, we thought. If not even more so. They've still got the weird, retro, futuristic, alternate timeline thing going.
It's like the 1950s in the future.
And yet it's futuristic. Yeah.
He mentions at one point his daughter was born in 2065, so it's very clearly the future.
Uh-huh. And then the disaster, the apocalyptic part, is another 200 years after that, or 219 or something like that. The dark humor and the satire and the violence are dialed up. We laughed and chuckled and winced many times watching this. It's got everything. And like we said, you don't have to be familiar with the video game. But I've seen in the commentary and various people talking about it that there are a lot of throwbacks to the game. That if you do know the games, you'll recognize a lot of things, even in the background.
Well, I didn't, and I don't, but I still enjoyed the show.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of background details. I was really impressed with that, and the characters, a lot of attention to detail. They clearly had some money to work with, and after the success of the Season 1, they really put it to excellent use. And one thing we noticed, this season seems kind of more fragmented than the last. The main characters split up more. There's Lucy and Norm and the dad are kind of doing their own thing, and Lucy and the ghouls split up for a while, and Maximus is doing his own thing. And there are quite a bit of throwbacks to the past that shows Barb, who is the ghoul's wife in the past, and their kid, and how the disaster came to be, and how the company plays into all this thing. There's Maximus trying to do the right thing, and Bolts 31 and 32 and 33 have the struggles going on, and there's the power struggle over cold fusion that runs as a thread throughout the thing. And the transitions between the individual groups and times and everything is pretty smooth. And then they all interact and overlap nicely. I kind of use the comparison like a handful of pebbles thrown into a pond with overlapping circles. But the writers really knew what they were doing. And the use of songs is great. They're very well placed, kind of quirky, retro, real songs, a lot of them, and they're very well used. So we say it's a strong thumbs up from us. If you like season 1, you should continue to season 2. And if you haven't seen season 1, you should watch it.
Absolutely, it's out there.
Yeah, it's a skilled cast and high production values, and it all comes together.
Okay. It moves a lot more quickly than season 1, since it doesn't need to set up all the characters and situations, but it still feels like it's dragging out a story maybe a little too long, especially the Howard story from the past. Just tell us what happened and get on with it.
But it keeps you intrigued that way.
We saw the bombs fall in the first 5 minutes of the first episode of season 1.
True.
Well, just tell us how that came about.
Well, they do. Slowly, gradually.
Okay, I guess they need to drag out the past so they can let Walton Goggins have some FaceTime.
With his own face.
With his own face,
Yeah.
yes.
And his ghoul makeup is really impressive.
It is very good, yes.
Yeah.
There are essentially 3 main storylines, one for Lucy and her father, one for Maximus, and one for the ghoul, or maybe 4 if you include Cooper Howard from the past. Oh, yep, and don't forget what's going on with Norm and those guys in the vaults. We don't get that much of them this year.
Not as much.
I'll bet we didn't get probably 10 or 15 minutes of the vault people this year.
It was less.
It was less.
Yeah, but enough there. I mean, it was still interesting.
But any one of these stories would be an interesting basis for a whole series, but we get part of each of them in every episode, so it's covering a lot of stuff, which kind of makes it feel like it's moving a little bit slowly. A lot of stories to cover here. The visuals are excellent, a mix of practical and CGI, as are the many creatures and monsters that appear this year. See, there is a horror link.
There is.
There are a lot of cool monsters.
Big, ugly creatures, yeah.
I assume they're all right out of the video games, but like we've said, we don't know about that. The old-timey songs for our grandparents' day is fun, and the songs are still entertaining today. I've seen that it's been renewed for season 3, but the ending this year seems like it almost wrapped up the main storylines that we've been seeing. Is it time for a new chapter?
It is. I saw where season 3 got renewed even before season 2 started. They were that sure of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was written like there's a cliffhanger in the last 5 minutes, but it didn't have to be.
No. And it jumps right in after season 1. Just continues smoothly, like it never left off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Pick that up. It's not just now releasing on DVD and Blu-ray. I guess it's been on streaming for quite a while, but the Blu-rays just came out. Pick those up right away. But that's it for this week. Stop in next week where we will have 5 more films, and they're going to be some good ones. We're going to be some stinkers probably too.
Could be.
Yep. But until next week, I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.